police pursue scam racket in East New Britain. Lae MP challenges Morobe Provincial Government. And telecommunications companies committed in enhancing business.
This is National MTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
Good evening and welcome to Friday's News. It's good to have your company again. Kokopo Police and the NGI Regional Labour Departments are pursuing a scam racket involving money laundering in East New Britain Province. The syndicate was operating as recruiters for fruit pickers to be sent to work in farms in New Zealand. Police say a relatively large amount of money has been collected from applicants as an application requirement. Labour Department officials say the amount of money laundered may have run into several millions of kina.
The police visited the recruiting site today at Ralalar village on the outskirts of Kokopo and demanded particulars of the culprits. A female suspect was apprehended, questioned and then locked up at the Kokopo police cell. It's understood at least 700 people have been lured into the scam to work as fruit pickers in New Zealand.
Working one time. This is a scam you don't get anyway.
The kingpin of the syndicate is alleged to be operating various other recruiting agencies all over the country. His identity has been made known to the police.
If you're going through our Papua New Guinea government arranged system, you're guaranteed. Any criminal one, Papua New Guinea government is responsible. You're dead, your whatever is all taken care because it's a bilateral agreement.
Kokopo police say the money laundering syndicate has been in existence in the province for the past 2 years, but the case was not pursued until recently when the applicants started to raise concerns after the commitments made by the recruiters were not honored. The New Guinea Islands Regional Labour Department in Kokopo says the scam involved a web of deception. Applicants were asked to pay at least 400 kina to be eligible to go and work overseas. But the Labour Department officials say the program has been operating illegally and have breached Papua New Guinea's labour laws. Edwin Fidelis, National MTV News, Kokopo.
Lae MP and interim Lae City Authority chairperson Lojaya Koza says the Morobe Provincial Government can go to court to stop the bill. Yesterday, Lae City Lord Mayor Koim Trilulei supported the Morobe Provincial Government's move to stop the bill through the Supreme Court. The Lae City Authority bill has backing from Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. MTV's Bethany Harriman spoke to the Lae MP this morning.
The Lae City Authority bill pushed by the National Parliament and Lae MP Lojaya Koza is receiving stiff resistance from the local level governments and the Morobe Provincial Government.
I would like to agree that they have the liberty and the democratic right to take it to court.
Interim Lae City Authority chairperson Lojaya Koza explained this morning that the authority will not interfere with the Lae urban local level government. The LCA aims to improve support services to business houses in Lae City.
We are not changing anybody's leadership. Our DA, formerly DA under the JDBPC arrangement, is now CEO of Lae District, is still here, his management is intact. The Lae City Council, Lord Mayor, now City Manager, they are still there. Their management team plus Ogata Workman Mariandani, I am not changing that. It's just that our roles and responsibilities now will be increased. We have an increased budget.
But the argument by the Lae City Lord Mayor, Koim Trilulei, is the government giving over 100 million kina to set up another white elephant to deliver municipal services when the Lae City Council can do it.
If suppose this last thing come up, almost give me 150 million so that office people want the administration block and beef him up this municipal services clear.
Morobe Provincial Government has had the opportunity for a 600 million budget. To date, Morobe Province, all district, all in Lukim Kalablo Dislamoni. Mipla Lae District, City, Lucose City, Mipla Lucose Wampla, tribe la house line straight. Mipla no Luki Kalablo Dislamoni. And to, out of that 600 million fund, the City Council with a 2 million tasol.
Yesterday, the mayor said the Lae urban local level government will not sign the MOU to give away their rights to conduct municipal services.
Na miplo ba inon of signing this la MOU ba inon of miplo signing.
Important municipal tasks will be handled by the LCA, and the Lae Urban Local Level Government will also be involved, but the main priority would be to pass policies. Morobe Governor Kelly Naru said it was unconstitutional to have another arm of government.
And what you can see happening now is that here we have a government, a local level government, who is being stripped of part of its powers and functions.
It will seem that Morobe Province will have 5 levels of authority delivering services.
According to a statement released by the Lae City Lord Mayor, the provincial government allocates 12 million kina to the Lae City Council to carry out its municipal services. The talks on Lae City's boundaries once the Lae City Authority comes into play. The Lae MP Lae City says local landowners will take part in the spin-off businesses, those in the Ahi LLG and the Wampar LLG. The dispute of the Lae City Authority will be taken to the Supreme Court to decide who is correct. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Lae.
Well, Telecom PNG is looking forward to the future of operating as a single entity with B Mobile. Chairman of Telecom PNG, Mahesh Patel, spoke about the advantages of bringing these two companies together and the implications it will have on the telecommunications industry in the country.
Patel says they are looking forward to the merger of Telecom and B Mobile. He says with the merger, they are looking to put forward a compelling consumer-oriented company.
To create competition, you need a strong network. Telecom alone cannot fight it because we don't have mobility. It's a fixed line business, and worldwide fixed line business is dying. Sure. Right now, B Mobile alone cannot survive. It's got financial issues. It's got legacy issues. So the government's made a mandate to merge the two companies. Then we have one solid, strong network to compete and bring the prices down, and it will.
The Telecom chairman says while infrastructure improvement is slow, the company is looking at a revamp of the whole network. This, he says, is a step towards ensuring more affordable rates for customers.
The prices, when my board came in to place, I think a consumer would have paid 200 kina per 1 gigabyte. Okay. Today, this is at the retail level. Today, I think it's gone down to 49 kina, so it's a substantial drop. Still not good to my liking, because I think, for that money we should allow a lot more gigabytes. But the problem is our infrastructure cannot take it until we rebuild the infrastructure.
He says Telecom's acquisition of EMTV is a logical progression of a telecommunications company, and says media companies have a moral obligation to the people when it comes to providing a community service such as airing of rugby league games, a national sport in PNG.
Free-to-air must exist. I mean, we got to keep thinking right down to the village level, a child or a father or mother with aspirations. And, rugby league, talking to NRL is not only about sports, it's about lifestyle, and they've got a brilliant schools program here. It's all about responsibility, care, to be a good human being, to play that sport.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
The Old Search Baton tours the autonomous region of Bougainville. That story and more local news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Good to have you back with the news. The All Search Pacific Games Baton Relay team arrived in the autonomous region of Bougainville on Wednesday after leaving Kokopo. All Search Ambassador Francis Cabono handed over the baton on the tarmac at Buka Airport to representatives from the newly elected House of Representatives. Here are the highlights from the relay team.
Crowds gathered and large bamboo bands played as the baton left the airport to begin the relay around the island of Buka. Its first stop being the chamber, the House of Representatives, where the Vice President Patrick Nasira spoke of celebrating this gift of the baton's arrival as a symbol of unity, which was the theme throughout the day. From there, the baton sped across the island over new roads under construction and through cocoa and coconut plantations to St. Paul's Primary at Mulasang, where all the kids were lined around the oval to touch the baton. Runners ran the course with flags held high. The schools then kept coming as the baton was taken to oval after oval for children of the island to take part in the relay. The fun also included the UNICEF Just Play Day, a bamboo band playing the national anthem and passing the baton between them. The children of Hahala Primary School sang the song Imagine, adapted to the baton coming to Booker. Students moved the baton along the line of kids for all to touch. It was then taken on a relay around town with the game sponsors and community members taking part to run the baton through the business district, the coconut oil mill and the market and banana boat wharfs. The baton was presented down on the water's edge and took a canoe ride out along the busy and fast tidal Booker Passage to beautiful, peaceful Sahano Island, the former centre of administration for the province. The All Search Pacific Games relay continues.
Well, much of the vegetables that you get here in Port Moresby aren't grown in the city. If you're not buying imported vegetables, there's a 90% chance that what you're buying comes from farmers in the Highlands provinces. They are part of a long chain that starts from the grower to the buyer in Port Moresby.
This is where several tons of fresh fruit and vegetables end up after a long journey by road from the Highlands provinces. At the Lae main wharf, packers are busy almost every day preparing for shipments of fruit and vegetables to Port Moresby. Isaac Simon left school at grade 9 and began farming and buying cabbages. Every 3 months, he makes an average of about 30,000 kina from cabbages he sends to Port Moresby.
We are planning big garden. We are almost 100 bags, 50 bags, 60 bags, and in it also. Na time we planning big, we are 20 bags. Depend on size garden.
The business is difficult and risky. Without proper storage facilities near the wharf or along the highway, the produce is at the mercy of the weather. When it's too hot, the cabbages start to rot. For Hagena Lucas Lazarus, he sent off a container of cabbage by ship. Tonight he'll travel back to Hagen and catch a flight to Port Moresby to sell the cabbages himself. Sometimes he can lose up to 5,000 kina when the weather isn't kind.
Me suicide straight na me calm down. Na time sibe me go right, me ba mamas na ba me ba sales. Na sibe no go right na me go sting. All get the money, all get the strong but me ba go back.
Sometimes farmers have to travel to other villages if they run short of fruit and vegetables. A large part of their expense is made up of freight costs, and that's why when a cabbage ends up in Port Moresby, it can fetch up to 10 kina. Scott White, National MTV News, Lae.
Together we can. This is the motivating slogan for national unity to support Team Kumu for the upcoming Pacific Games next month. Blended in the song by Jagariza and Jamie Lee titled I Am, You Are, We Are Papua New Guinea, Together We Can. The song is expected to motivate and get Papua New Guineans in one spirit behind Team PNG.
The Pacific Games is 15 days away. In getting the people together in support of Team Kumul, Jagariza and Jamie Lee's new song has received support from the state-owned Kumul Group of companies. Today, the National Development Bank financially assists the group with a 40,000 kina. The money will go towards the production of the song, including a video version, with the aim to motivate and give Papua New Guineans the feeling of nationality and pride for the country come the 2015 Pacific Games next month.
This team is an appropriate team to unite the country under the banner of Team Kumu to go for gold.
Public Enterprise Minister Ben Maika says this song will be recognized as an official song for all major events PNG participates in.
Whatever sports is taking place in country or overseas, this song will be following them, you know, with 5 supporters or 100 supporters, or when the Hunters are playing in Australia or wherever, this song is there, you know. But there is a slogan, there is a song that is going to captivate everybody to get behind our team.
Local radio stations will start airing the song next week, followed by a video version on television stations. The official song for the 2015 Pacific Games will be sung by Joe Kema. Quinten Alomp, National MTV News.
President of PNG Cut Flower Association, Mary Sound, has held the 4-day flower show. Sound says the floriculture industry has grown over the years and women must be empowered by all forms to expose PNG's potential. The show ended today with presentations of awards to its participants.
The 4-day Cut Flower Show ended today on a high note with women encouraged to embrace the floriculture industry. Flower pots and flower varieties in different shapes and sizes from the Highlands and coastal provinces were the main attraction at the Port Moresby Arts Theatre. President of the PNG Cut Flower Association, Mary Sound, said it is an untapped industry where women and men are now involved. She says the show was a success despite receiving no funding or recognition.
And it's been successful and every province have been happy. And I've got feedback like they have enjoyed themselves.
First-timers like Jiwaka, New Island and Simbu were part of the awardees that walked away with prizes. Top prize Farmer of the Year was taken by Erapa sisters from Kokoda in Northern Province.
If we don't win, that's okay because we come in next year, we're going to do better and better than what we have done today. But to our surprise, we got the shield and
it was all women and talks about growing the floriculture industry.
Today is our last day, but the show, the market still continues tomorrow and Sunday.
Flower enthusiasts flocked to the venue to buy flowers, thereby creating wealth for participants. Next year's show is said to be bigger and better and will be held in May. Jack Lapau, Junior National, EMTV News.
And now we check out the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3655 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was trading at $0.3580, $0.456 Australian dollars, $0.3110 euro, and 43.6 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee and cocoa closed the day higher, while copper closed lower. Palm oil, crude oil and copper all closed the day higher. And lastly, on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 101 points higher, the ASX closed at 21 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 40 points lower as well. A church massacre in the United States that claimed the lives of 9 people. We'll bring you that story among others after the break. Stay tuned. Good to have you back with National EMTV News. Criticisms of the autonomous Bougainville government's new mining legislation being passed by the House of Representatives for self-interest has been corrected by President John Momis. While large-scale mining is the only realistic option for rapid fiscal self-reliance for the new autonomous government, President Momis says under the Bougainville Mining Law 2015, customary landowners have the final say. MTV's Fabian Hakelitz files this report.
The controversial Panguna mine will not reopen without the consent and agreement of landowners. This was made clear by President Momis during the 10th anniversary celebrations in Boca this week that under the Bougainville Mining Law 2015, customary landowners own minerals having the right to say no to exploration and development, including mining licenses.
Clear agreement by a clear majority of landowners with no manipulation of consent. It is certainly possible Panguna will not reopen if landowners oppose it, or if BCL don't return and alternative developers can't be found.
Momis said the radical new Bougainville Mining Act means any new mining will be on totally different terms from under the Bougainville Copper Agreement. Possibilities for other communities wanting mining exploration will be properly evaluated.
The biggest protection is that no development will be possible unless both landowners and the ABG are satisfied with all the conditions for mining.
The Bougainville president reiterated the mining law rights to landowners to participate and decide the future, something the previous mining laws didn't acknowledge. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Bougainville's time frame to achieve fiscal self-reliance is already in doubt. This was revealed by President John Momis, and members elected into the third autonomous Bougainville government must work hard to improve financial capacity. Once again, Fabian Hakelitz has more.
The referendum timetable has placed pressure on the autonomous Bougainville government to achieve its fiscal self-reliance rapidly. Bougainville's internally derived revenue is only 30 million kina, 10 times lower than its annual budget, and Momi says this cannot deliver self-reliance.
Our annual budget is over 300 million, but internally derived revenue is only about 30 million kina. Gradual economic expansion will not deliver self-reliance, covering costs of current services, as well as providing the much improved levels of services Bougainvilleans both expect and deserve.
President Momi says Bougainville will be accorded full autonomy unless it achieves its fiscal reliance. Economy is the vehicle that sustains growth and development in any island state like the autonomous region of Bougainville, says North Bougainville Women's Representative and Deputy Speaker Francisca Semoso. Semoso is critical because of the referendum call, saying Bougainville needs a stable financial capacity.
So the third house is really important that we find our way now. If the way is already there, if strategies are already there, then we need to make them work. So the third house will be the house that will look at the financial capacity that we have, the financial strength that we have as a government now.
Semoso says solidarity is needed and both the national and autonomous Bougainville government must move Bougainville forward. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
United States Navy engineering and medical officers will arrive in Bougainville tomorrow to conduct advanced planning and patient registration in preparation for the visit of USNS Mercy Hospital ship in Arawa on the 27th of June to July 4. While in Bougainville, Pacific Partnership will conduct dental and surgical operations, hold health and anti-gender-based violence exercises, conduct veterinarian care and refurbish 2 local schools. The US-led Pacific Partnership mission includes personnel from Australia, New Zealand, Timor-Leste, Philippines and Japan. Pacific Partnership 2015 activities range from medical, dental and veterinarian care to construction projects and crisis response training. Turning overseas, a young man accused of opening fire in a distinguished African-American church in the U.S. state of South Carolina has killed 9 innocent people during Bible study on Thursday. He was captured in North Carolina during a traffic stop. Police say he shot and killed 6 women and 3 men. A hate crime investigation is now underway.
How'd you do it? How'd you feel? 21-year-old Dylan Roth is in custody, caught in North Carolina armed with a gun.
That terrible human being who would go into a place of worship and people were praying and kill them.
Roth suspected of killing 9 people inside the historic Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina.
We woke up today and the heart and soul of South Carolina was broken.
Just after 8 p.m. Wednesday night, Roth entered the church. He was invited to join a Bible study group.
He sat next to my cousin, Reverend Clemente Pinckney, throughout the entire Bible study. At the conclusion of the Bible study, from what I understand, they just start hearing loud noises just ringing out.
Witnesses told police that around 9 p.m., Roth stood up and said that he was there to shoot black people. He allegedly then took out his handgun and opened fire, killing 9.
You please send out an EMS command page advising of an active shooter, multiple people down.
First responders rushed to the scene.
Several victims regarding that active shooter. Give me at least 4 medic units plus 2 supervisors on that call, please.
3 people survived the shooting. The local NAACP president was told by a family member that one survivor received a chilling message from the shooter who told her, quote, "I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to spare you so you can tell them what happened." Tonight, authorities are looking into Roth's background and if he had help in orchestrating what is being investigated as a hate crime.
I mean, we'll do search warrants, we'll do interviews, we'll go back and try to put together
why this might have happened.
Law enforcement told CNN that the suspect's father had recently bought him a .45 caliber gun for his 21st birthday.
Well, National MTV News continues with True Guy Sports. That's coming up next, and we'll give you all the details when we come back. Stay with us.
True Guy Sports.
Welcome to True Guy Sports. The Games Organising Committee is pleased to release the team sport competition schedule for Team PNG. The draw schedule for the team sports reflects the final entries now received by all competing teams.
Team PNG will be competing in 11 different team sports, with both men and women's teams in basketball, cricket, hockey, lawn bowls, rugby sevens, soccer, touch football and volleyball. Rugby Nines will have a men's team only, while netball and softball will see a women's team only compete. The PNG Peppers will face stiff competition from the Solomon Islands, Tonga and Samoa, while in softball, PNG will take on American Samoa in a best-of-3 rounds at the Bicini Grounds from the 15th to the 17th of July. The individual sports will feature PNG athletes competing every day of the Games. Team PNG's chef de mission Richard Kasman remains adamant that the home support will boost the morale of all PNG athletes competing in these arenas.
So we're hoping that we get that sort of crowd. I think in the other smaller facilities, our indoor stadiums, swimming pool, where there's less seating capacity, the tickets are selling very, very quickly, and we're expecting some large crowds there because really the importance of home crowd is, I just can't understate how important that is to our team.
With a majority of tickets selling at 10 kina per person, the public is encouraged to buy tickets to support Team PNG, who will be competing in all 28 sports. The schedule for all matches and all competitions will be released by the Games Organising Committee via their website by next week. This schedule applies to actual team sports and does not include VAA, sailing or the relay team, whose athletes will be taking part in individual events. And while the opening ceremony is slated for the 4th of July, competition begins the day before on Friday the 3rd. The first sports that will open the Pacific Games for the year 2015 will be touch rugby, with PNG taking on Kiribati and Tonga in both the men's and women's respectively. And in soccer, PNG will meet up with Pacific Games champions New Caledonia at 3 p.m. Both of those sports will be held here at the Bicini Sports Field, while over at the Tarama Aquatic Center, PNG will meet New Caledonia in basketball. Jeremy Moggy, National TV Sports.
Well, the regional weightlifting community has two good reasons to watch Team Cook Islands at the 15th Pacific Games. For the first time in history, the Cook Islands will have two female weightlifters to lift the country's flag at the major event.
Lisa Peters, an established member of Oceania Weightlifting Institute, training under legendary coach Paul Koffa, is well known for her impressive lifting skills in the region. Will partner with another talented Cook Island lifter, Philippa Wontong. Philippa, daughter of former Cook Island Prime Minister Dr. Robert Wontong, says making the Team Cook Island weightlifting team has made her year. Despite only taking up weightlifting game little over 3.5 years ago through CrossFit, Philippa has already made her mark on the lifting platform. She competed in her first weightlifting competition in February 2013, where her efforts qualified her to compete in the Australian Nationals in 2014. She competed in 70 kg category and a few weeks later also competed in the ACT State Championships, winning the event. The Rarotonga-born and raised athlete currently resides in Canberra, Australia, where she has been living for 7 years. The 29-year-old learned the basics of Olympic weightlifting movements through CrossFit and lifted in a number of competitions. The upcoming Pacific Games will be Philippa's debut as a national lifter and international athlete. Currently in competitions, Philippa snatches 70 kg and cleans 90 kg. Over the last 5 months, she has been concentrating on improving these numbers for Port Moresby. She has been coached by Australia's Commonwealth weightlifting athlete Kylie Lindback. The two female weightlifters from Cook Islands are sure to make regional lifters stand up and pay attention come July. Shane Saroya, National MTV Sports.
Well, Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Good to have you back with Trukai Sports. A long-distance relay race known in Japan as Ekiden has been introduced in the country. The popular Japanese sport is a form of marathon relay with slight variations. The Japan PNG Ekiden Preparatory Committee introduced the sport at Ward Street Primary and Gordon Secondary Schools here in Port Moresby this week.
It is a long-distance marathon relay which, instead of using a baton, a sash cloth is worn. It is a big sport in Japan and has been introduced to many different countries around the world. Triathlon Olympian Hiroyuki Nishiruchi demonstrated to the students how the sash is worn during the race.
First of all, fasten put husky on the shoulder and tie, put this tighten, and this in the shorts or pants. So running fast run.
Yesterday, the Ekiden committee with the Gordon Secondary School, Ekiden volunteer Oliver Nombri gave a brief history of the sport to the students. Then the students began the first ever Ekiden race in Papua New Guinea. Each team consisted of 4 members, with male and females having their own team. Participants are usually aged between 18 to 25. However, it is open to younger and older categories as well. Ekiden may be seen as a unique model, not just a sport, but embracing history, education and culture. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
To NRL, round 15 of Friday Night Football will see West Tigers go head-to-head with Manly Sea Eagles. The Tigers will go into the match with much-needed confidence after defeating reigning Premier South Sydney Rabbitohs last weekend, while the Sea Eagles are desperate for a win as well.
In 13th spot on the NRL points ladder, the West Tigers are looking to make a late surge into the top 8 before the finals. Their win last weekend over the Rabbitohs without Origin stars Aaron Woods and Robbie Farah will boost the Tigers coming into tonight's match. Coming off a bye, the Sea Eagles will need a victory tonight to pull themselves out from the bottom of the ladder. They will be without Jamie Lyon, who is ruled out with a hamstring injury, and will be relying heavily on Queensland Origin playmaker Daly Cherry Evans. Tiger Martin Tapau is coming off a dominant performance in their massive victory over the Rabbits.
Post, 10 points to nil.
Tapau showed his strength and power when he crossed over for 2 powerhouse tries and 11 tackle busts.
And says, worship me. Oh wow, what a performance this has been tonight.
Round 15 will see the Parramatta Eels and the South Sydney Rabbitohs off the pitch this weekend with a bye. Dion Kombang, National EMTV Sports.
Well, that brings us to the end of Trukai Sports tonight. I'll be back on the other side of this break with the weather details. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Taking a quick look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in southern region, cloudy weather with chances of light showers expected in the nation's capital and Kerama. In Mamasa, showers plus patchy rain expected in Lae City. In the New Guinea Islands, thundery showers for Lorengau and Kavieng. And lastly, in the Highlands region, mostly fine, then showers tonight expected in all centres. Now, before we go, quickly recapping our main headlines again tonight. Police pursue scam racket in eastern New Britain. Also, Lae MP challenges Morobe Provincial Government and telecommunications companies committed in enhancing business. Well, that's been the news, sports and weather this Friday. I'm Tokana Hasavi Jr. from the news team. You have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Good night.